أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I welcome you all to another class of Tajweed, and inshallah on this week we are going to discuss on the verse 59 of Surah Yunus. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أرأيتم ما أنزل الله لكم من رزق فجعلتم منه حراما وحلالا قل الله أذن لكم أم على الله تفترون. MashaAllah, after we've had the recitation of the verse, inshallah we now identify the Tajweed rules governing this particular verse. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قُلْ أَرَأَيْتُمْ Qul. So the rule that is governing this particular lam in the word Qul, so which has been clearly heard, is known as Izhar Lam al-Fi'l, as we discussed about Lam al-Fi'l in our previous classes. So this is another type of another example of a verbal lam, and then we can see that the letter that comes immediately after the verbal lam happens to be a letter of Izhar, which is al-Hamza. So the verbal lam has two rules, which is Izhar and Idgham. It happens to be Idgham whenever Ra or Lam immediately follow the Lam al-Fi'l. Do you understand? And as we can see, this is al-Hamza, which belongs to the al-Izhar groups. So this is a Izhar Lam al-Fi'l, that is manifestation of the verbal lam. So let's go further. قُلْ أَرَأَيْتُمْ مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ أَرَأَيْتُمْ, that is, I said أَرَأَيْتُمْ مَا, that is the nasalization within, that is this type of rule is what is known as idgham al-shafawi. That is idgham al-shafawi, that is labial assimilation. So that is the rules governing mim sakina. So as you can see, immediately after the mim sakina, the next letter that appear next happens to be another mim, right? So and we know that whenever that happens, you are going to do nasalization. Do you understand? So let's move further. Ma anzal, right? Ma anzal Allah, that is the elongation. The type of elongation that we can identify here is known as al-mad al-ja'iz al-munfasil, which has the duration of either 2 haraka, or we have that of 4 haraka or 5 haraka. That is, it has the duration of 1 second, 2 seconds, or 2.5 seconds. So let's move further. Ma anzal, the nationalization, which is that is the nun striking here. Then the next letter that appears next to it happens to be a letter of ikhfa, and the rule that we can identify here, which is governing the nun striking, is known as ikhfa'un haqiqi. So let's move further. Ma anzala Allah, that is in the name of the word of majesty, I said Allah. So the first rule that we can identify in the word of majesty here is idghamun lam ash-shamsiyya. So as you can see, this lam happens to be lam ta'rif, right? So, and it has been assimilated into the second lam, which has shadda. Do you understand? Then, and the second rule that we can also identify in the word of emergency is the heavy pronunciation of the lam, which is that is what is known as at-tafkhim. Do you understand? And we've discussed about the word of the lam in the word of emergency in our previous classes. We said whenever fatha precedes the word, so the lam is going to be heavily pronounced. Do you understand? So let's go further. ما أنزل الله لكم من رزق. I said lakum min, right? This is another rule that is governing mim sakina, and we've earlier identified it. And this is another idgham shafawi. As I earlier explained it, whenever letter mim appears immediately after mim sakina, you are going to do nasalization. It's going to be coupled with nasalization. Do you understand? Then I say mir rizq, right? Mir rizq. That is the rule that is governing to this nun sakina. That is a idghamun kamil, because letter ra happens to be the letter of idgham. Do you understand? Letter ra belongs to the letter of idgham kamil. Do you understand? So you are going to assimilate this noon. You are not even going to hear the sound. It is the sound of the ra that has been heard. Do you understand? Which is a idgham kamil, which is known as perfect assimilation. Perfect assimilation. Then to the ra, I said mir rizq. I said mir rizq. That is the ra. So the rule that we can identify here is what is known as at-tarqiq. At-tarqiq. That is what I just did to the ra. That is a soft pronunciation of a letter ra, and it is applied to letter ra if letter ra has kasra. Whenever it has kasra, you understand? So that is how we are going to pronounce it. The sound won't be heavy. You understand? And again, letter ra is softly pronounced whenever it has sakin and it is preceded by a letter which has kasra in the same word, and there is no letter of isti'la, that is the letters of elevation, that is which include letter kha, letter sad, letter dad, letter ta, letter dha, and letter ghain, and letter qaf. So these are the 7 letters of isti'la. Do you understand? So these letters, they are heavily pronounced. Whenever you come across them, the 7 letters that I just made mention of, they are heavily pronounced whenever you come across them. So that is why they are called the letters of isti'la. So whenever you are going to pronounce them, you are going to elevate your tongue. Do you understand? So, and then there is no letter of isti'la which has fatha immediately after this letter ra. For example, we have fir'aun, right? So immediately after the letter ra, there is no either kha, sad, dad, ta, dha, ghain, or qaf. Do you understand? So if there is presence of either the letter of isti'la, is a different case. Do you understand? And again, whenever the letter ra, when it has sakin due to pause, that is, you are reciting and you now pause on it, and you know it's going to change to sakin if it has single vowel. Do you understand? So you now pause on it, and at the same time it is preceded by a vowelless letter, that is a letter that has a sukun. And which letter are we referring to here? In this case, we are referring to letter ya. So that is, whenever you pause on a word which ends with letter ra, and the letter ra has a vowel, but as you are stopping there, is going to change, right? It will change to a vowelless letter. Do you understand? And then this letter ra, it has been preceded by letter ya, which has sakin at the same time. That is, both these two letters have sakin. Do you understand? So, for example, we have in the word khabir. Do you understand? Khabir. So that is how you are going to pronounce it. Or you say khair. You say khair. Do you understand? So that is how you are going to do it. Khabir, or you say khair. These are some of the examples.
And again, letter ra is softly pronounced whenever it has a temporary sukun due to pause and is preceded by a vowelless letter other than ya or a letter of isti'ala, which are earlier mentioned, and the letter that is preceding this second letter, which has the vowel sign, has sakin. And whenever this happens, you are going to softly pronounce the sound of letter ra.
So, for example, we have as-sihr. As-sihr. Do you understand? As-sihr. So, as you can observe, the letter that precedes ra happens to be ha, school, right? And the letter before letter ha happens to be letter sin with kasr. Do you understand? When this happens, the sound of the ra is going to be softly pronounced, and the rest. So let's move further. Min rizqin faja'altum. Min rizqin, that is min rizqin. The nasalization, that is a ikhfa'un haqiqi. Ikhfa'un haqiqi. Then in the same word faja'altum, we've had the sound of the lam, and this type of a rule is known as idharul lam al-fi'l. Idharul lam al-fi'l. Faja'altum min. Faja'altum min. That is another example of a idghamun shafawi. That is, after the letter mim, the mim sakina, then immediately the letter that appear next happens to be letter mim. So that is why we couple it with a nasalization. Then the word minhu, right? Minhu. This is a al-idhar al-halqi. Al-idhar al-halqi, that is manifestation, which is applied to the nun sakina. Do you understand? So let's move further. فَجَعَلْتُم مِّنْهُ حَرَامًا. I said hara. The ra has been elongated, and this type of elongation is known as al-madd al-asli, that is basic elongation. Harama. When I pause there, that is al-madd al-iwad. But if I'm to proceed, that is haraman, right? That is the rule we change to idghamun naqis. You understand? Idghamun naqis. So let's move further. Wahalala. That is wahala. The lam has been elongated, and this type of rule is known as al-madd al-asli. Then if I'm to pause there as I did now, that is wahalala. That is al-madd al-iwad. But if I'm to proceed, for example, if I'm to say wahalalan qul, right? That is ikhfa'un haqiqi. Do you understand? So what of here? I said qul, right? Qul. So qul Allah. That is the lam here on the word qul. That is another example of lam al-fi'l. That is the verbal lam, which happens to be idhar here. So the letter that is coming immediately after the lam happens to be a letter of idhar. So this is idhar lam al-fi'l. So what of this long elongation that I just did? Allahu adhina lakum. Do you understand? The elongation, this type of elongation is what is known as al-madd al-farq. Al-madd al-farq. Do you understand? That is distinctive elongation. distinctive elongation. Distinctive elongation is an elongation that distinguishes an interrogation from a statement. Do you understand? It differentiates an interrogation from statement. That is a question from a statement. Do you understand? And it has the duration of a cis haraka. That is the length of the elongation. Do you understand? That is which is equivalent to 3 seconds. Do you understand? And this elongation, that is the duration of this elongation, is necessary for us to extend the mud to that extent. Do you understand? So it is necessary, and it is necessary because by discarding the elongation, the interrogative expression may be considered a statement. Do you understand? If you are to discard the elongation here, so it means we've already changed the meaning of that verse in that particular area. Do you understand? So it is very important for us to do so. So make sure you try as much as possible to practice it and do it perfectly. May Allah help us and forgive us our sin. So let's move further. So we've seen al-madul farq. So let's move further.
So after the elongation part, that is which has been elongated, the alhamza which has been elongated for the duration of 30 seconds, then at the same time in the word of majesty, as we know, we have the lam has been heavily sound, and the heavy pronunciation of the lam is known as at-tafkhim. Do you understand? So let's move further. قُلْ اللَّهُ أَذِنَ لَكُمْ أَمْ عَلَى اللَّهِ تَفْتَرُونَ. أَمْ عَلَى, I said right? The rule that is governing this mim second in this place is what is known as izharun shafawi, because the letter of izhar is behind it, which happens to be ain. Do you understand? So am ala Allah, Allah. The first rule that we can identify there is what is known as idghamul lam shamsiyya, which the assimilation of the lam, that is the lam has been assimilated. So, and the second rule that we can also identify there is the heavy pronunciation of the lam in the word of majesty, that is at-tafkhim. So, and lastly we have in the last word which comes with an elongation, that is, I said taftarun, that is al-maddul arid lissukun, al-maddul arid lissukun, and we said it has a duration of either 1 second, 2 seconds, or 3 seconds. So inshallah, with this we've come to the end of today's class. May Allah forgive us our sins and grant us Jannatul Firdaus. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.